Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome to the Fly With Us podcast. This podcast is bringing the art of conversation, self love, self care, mental health care and protection, life lessons, love lessons, and everything in between. Today, we're going to talk about playtime for adults. I'm Lady Bounce.
I am Picket Fence. So today's what are we doing? Mindfulness Minute. Have you ever noticed how when you are having fun, you are able to put life stressors aside and just be happy for a little while? Having fun while playing games will not only reduce your stress for a short term, but can also have lasting effects that make you more relaxed person overall. Another way to relax in your daily life is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is a pretty straightforward word with pretty sustainable effects. It indicates that the mind is paying full attention to what is going on in the present moment. It involves using all your senses to live in the moment and observe what is going on around you. Mindfulness reserves to one's ability to fully be present in the moment, aware of everything that is going on and everything you are doing in the moment.
That was deep.
Yeah. And, we talk about mindfulness a lot, and it is essential to living a better life, in my opinion, because you want to be aware of what's happening in all the time. And sometimes it's hard. We have a lot of distractions in this world. We have your normal everyday work stress, you have family life stress, you have social stress for some people. Some people have social anxiety. There are a lot of things that can distract us. You have the news, social media, that sometimes we forget to be present in the moment.
I know I have that a lot. I have moments throughout my day where I have to out loud tell myself, stop, breathe. What are you doing right now? And why is this important? So because of the way that my brain works, and I'm usually always moving, a mile a minute, literally, I appreciate those breaks, and I appreciate myself for being able to recognize when I need to just tell myself, stop. You're doing too much. In this moment, what is the most important thing that needs to be done? What is the most important thing you need to concentrate on and think about? Which for the most part, is just breathing. So just, you get so busy moving, you don't realize that when you are doing these things, yes, you're breathing. You are taking in air and expelling air, but you're not actually breathing. You're not taking those deep cleansing breaths and those breaths that provide you those moments of clarity, because we've been taught to just run, hustle all the time. So, being mindful is something you definitely have to be mindful about being mindful. You have to really think about it and stop and go, breathe. What am I doing? What do I need to be doing? What's the most important thing to do in this moment? And then do it.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of times, along with being mindful and forgetting to stop to breathe, we forget to relax and enjoy life as it's happening. And that leads us into the topic today. Game time for adults. Is that what you said it's called? Game time
for adults.
Now, we recently went to an adult game party, which was a big stretch for me. A big stretch out of my box or boundary, I would say. Big stretch. I mean, that rubber band was about to snap. Snap, crackle, pop. Somebody's about to get hit in the eye.
So before you say more, why was that a big stretch for you? Why is it tell us, why is that such a big stretch?
Man, I don't play games. I don't play no games.
But you just said your brain needs a break.
Yeah.
Your brain needs playtime.
I have other things that relax my brain. I don't play games. I don't play games. You hear people say that all the time, and it's like a cliche tough guy or something saying that, I don't play no game. I don't play no games. I do not play no games. I don't like board games. I don't really like video games. I think earlier in video game time, Atari 2600, even up to Sega and the first PlayStation, I played games, but I wasn't an avid gamer. Like I said, I don't really like board games. I don't like Monopoly, Life Strategy, any of those games. I think the only board game that I liked back in the day was Trouble with the bloop, 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 where you push the bubble. In high school, I played checkers a lot because I had like 3 study halls my senior year. The only two games that I do like to play that I guess you would consider board or card games rather. Uno and Mancala is probably the only board game. No, take that back. 3. Othello. I do like Othello. So those 3, Mancala and Othello, which are, and Othello and Mancala have a similarity where, of course, Othello, you try to get more of your color to dominate the board, and Mancala, you try to get rid of your stones. So a vice versa similarity, I guess. But those are only 3 games that I like to play. So this was a big step out of my box, not only for game night purposes or game purposes, that I'm not, you wouldn't think that I'm a artist because I'm not a people person. With strangers, I would say. I'm not really comfortable around strangers.
But some of the people that were at the game night, they weren't all strangers.
Well, it happened to be that I did end up knowing three people there. Shout out to Amaha Selassie. And I already knew Samil, and I already knew, who else did I already know? Samil's sister, Dina. I knew Dina, and I've known Dina for a long time ago. She was friends with my cousin, so 3 people I knew, but the rest of the people I did not know. So and there was no problem or anything like that. I just usually don't, I don't really gather with a bunch of strangers. So that was a stretch out of my box. But hey, this is a proven point that sometimes stepping out of your box proves to be a good thing, because I had a good time. I had a real good time. And I think that everybody had a good time that was there. We had food, music for a while until we got into the games. And music and food are already things that bring people together. Now, I do have lots of times that we have, friends that we go and we have food and music. And like I said, they aren't strangers to me, so I'm cool and I'm chill. But it was really cool. And I think that, especially coming out of the pandemic, as we slowly move out of the pandemic, it was good to gather with people. I think that's another thing that everybody was happy to kind of get out the house. We had a smorgasbord of different foods. We had different kind of drink spirits, as they call it. It was BYOB, so everybody basically had their own favorite beverage with them. And one of the games was really great. The other game was not so great. We played 2 different games. I couldn't remember what either one was called.
The first one was called Black Card Revoked, which it's a series of questions, and then the answer choices vary. So it may be something that, like, whatever the question is, majority rules, that will be the answer. And then there are some of them that have specific answers, like A, B, C, or D. Mm-hmm. So in that regard, and I'd also like to say I was very proud of you, because during this particular game night, we were not partners. You had to have a partner that was a complete stranger that you had just met that day, and then my partner was a complete stranger to me. So it was really kind of funny, especially playing Black Card Revolt, to really see how we all, while we were all black, you know, quote unquote, we were all African American, to see how differently we all grew up based on some of our answers.
Mm-hmm.
And even with the age, like there was a, not a huge, but it was a pretty big age range between all of us being in our 40s. Some of them were in their 30s. Two of the people there were in their 20s, and we even had two teenagers in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really neat when we played Black Card Revolt to hear some of those answers and have to talk it out, you know, with your partner of, well, why you think your answer is right, why they think their answer is right. And then in some questions I just conceded to my partner, like, hey, I don't know about this, so whatever you say, that's our answer. So that part was kind of fun. And there were no points, or there were no prizes or anything like that, so you really could just kind of have fun. And then the second game was called Not Safe for Work Savage Edition, and that's the game you didn't like. So tell us.
Yeah, that game was kind of whack. I mean, well, first of all, you could tell the game was created by a bunch of drunk frat boys. Because some of the questions were just really, really off the hinge. I guess that's why it was called the Savage Edition, but they were just dumb questions. It seemed like, you know, out of drunken college kids questions, and a lot of them were really beyond personal. Some of them were kind of too adult content for the two teenagers that we did have there. But a lot of them were just dumb. It was like, I don't know, it seemed like Punked and Jackass and Real World and Jersey Shore mixed together. Like they all came together and made a game together or something, along with Fear Factor. It's just, and it made a lot of people uncomfortable. I seen some people were like really uncomfortable with a lot of the questions in that game. But like I said, the first game, it was pretty dope. And to go back to what you said about showing the generational differences in that game, or the way people were raised and stuff, that was a real dope aspect of the game. Is that, you know, like I said, we had us in our 40s, Samil and her sister both in their 40s. Then you had some 25-year-olds, and you had some 30-year-olds, and you know, you had a array of age groups and down to the teenagers. And then you have people from different areas, you know, grew up in different parts of the country. So, I mean, hearing everybody's answers and opinions, especially the ones that were majority rules questions, yes. You know, so, you know, like you had one age group and region might say this, and a younger age group in different region might say something else. So it was like, and Samir was the moderator, so she would break any ties if there were ties. And like I said, I had a partner in a game, the first game that I had just met that day. I'm not even sure how old he was. He might have been in his 30s, maybe late 20s to mid 30s. Yeah, I would guess that he was that, because like one of the questions, for example, was about who ruled 90s R&B, and I don't know what all four choices, but the main choices were Mariah Carey and Mary J. Blige. See, a person of our age is gonna know that it's Mary J. Blige.
Right.
You know, the question wasn't who was the best singer, which, you know, that would be Mariah Carey. She had better vocal talent. But when you think about catalogs of R&B music, not pop music, R&B music, there's a reason Mary is the queen of hip hop soul.
Yes.
So when you think of it in aspects, so that was another thing. You had to really listen to what the question was. And if it was a majority rules thing, you not only had to think about your personal opinion, you had to think about, this is what a major group is going to, this, a majority of people are going to say this. So that game was real dope. That's definitely a game that I wouldn't mind playing again. especially if there's an updated edition. Some of the questions were a little bit dated. Um, and I think whoever created the game probably should survey. I don't know if they did or not. I don't know who made the game. Survey a larger age group and regional. They should probably survey people from different states and different age groups, because we've always seen this on social media. Is it called soda or is it called pop? It depends on how old you are and where you come from.
Right.
You know, my mother was born in 1936. Her parents came from Mississippi, but she was born in Chicago. They called it soda pop together. They went to soda pop shops. So, and you know, we're from Dayton. It's always been pop. When I was younger, I used to travel a lot, and I would go like to the East Coast or go to down south, and you'd be like, you know, pop. They'd be like, what is that? You know, they call it soda. You know, so, and like I said, that was a dope game. I would like to see a 2021 edition of that game made. And there are a lot of games that are like that. You know, I've seen 2 different hip hop trivia games. Now, I'm just gonna be upfront. No disrespect to anybody that was having a good time with us at the adult game party night, but most of the people there wouldn't be able to play that game because most of them don't really know about hip hop, because hip hop culture has been washed out and dominated into hip pop with a P, like pop filter. So they don't really know about, you know, hip hop and its origins and its for people that are what we would call hip hop heads. But that's a game that I wouldn't mind getting and maybe, you know, taking to a party or something like that.
That's what I was looking for. I'm like, I remember you sent me a game to look for, and I want to make sure that I mention that game. So you keep going, I'm gonna find it.
So, you know, back to, you know, not straying away, but getting to the topic of it, is a game night is a way to, like I said, not only relax, but it can put you in the present moment. Because, like I said, a game like the first game that we played, you really had to pay attention to the way the question was worded, you know, and like I said, you had to think about not only your personal feelings, but you had to think about, you had to be like a DJ. You had to read the crowd. You had to say, okay, this person is of this age group. They probably think the answer is that. My daughter's here, and I know what she thinks and her age group thinks, versus what there's probably only, I think maybe 4 or 5 of us that was in our 40s. You know, shout out to Maha, who was also there, was in his 40s. I can't remember the other young lady's name that was in her 40s that was in our age group. I'm terrible at names. I'm sorry. Shout out to everybody that was at the party, though. I know it was 2 Jasmines there. Everybody else, I apologize. I don't remember your name, but it was good meeting you. It was fun. Like I said, it was a step out of your box, and sometimes that's what you have to do to become present. It's something that I'm working on. Because, you know, usually you'd be like, you want to go somewhere with some strangers? I'd be like, no, I'm good.
That is so true.
I'm straight up good. Because, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. And like I said, I think that's why some people, if they knew that, they'd be like, man, how you an artist? I mean, it's different because you're on stage. You don't know nobody anyway, except the people you rocking with. You know, people may dap you up when you get off and you going to the bar. And then somebody like me, I'm going to the bar, have a couple of drinks, then we dipping once the show is done, you know.
Right.
Or when we like say, yeah. So, or for like when we're having get downs, you're up on the stage the whole time, so you're not like, you know what I'm saying, like kicking it. It's not like a small, like it's somebody's house, and you're going to a dinner party or something like that, and You know what I'm saying? And people ask you a bunch of weird questions and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's something that I'm growing on, because I think that that's part of community building. You know what I'm saying? And things like that help you, like I said, stay present in the moment. So did you find the name of some of those games there?
I did. And they're sold by universityofdope.com.
Mm.
And the first one is the hip hop game, and it's called University of Dope General Studies number 102, and the card deck sells for $24.99. And then they have coming soon Anatomy of R&B, and it's going to be $18.99, and it's a pre-sale on it right now.
That sounds dope.
So universityofdope.com is where you can find those two games. And if Amazon sells everything. So if you look on Amazon, there's some other fun games you could play. There's games of skill. I went to a game party at work where we played minute to win it type games. So, and these are games that really require no skill. So like cup flipping, or you have a brand new box of tissues, and how fast can you empty the box of tissues, which for me was kind of a rough game to play, because I'm like, we're wasting tissues. So I was struggling with that part. And then we took a roll of toilet paper, and we had a partner, and a partner had to hold the roll or find like a pencil or a stick or something to stick in a roll, and the goal was to empty the roll as fast as you can. So it's team building, it's camaraderie, it's just being able to kind of hang out and be free. But the biggest thing I got out of it was just laughing. We don't take enough time to just laugh. We are so busy. Go to work, hustle, grind, make money, pay bills, sleep somewhere in between, that in doing that, we don't laugh. Like, you might have a chuckle every now and again at work. Your coworker say something funny. Ha 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 ha, that's funny, Jim. But how many times do you actually really get a good belly laugh? That one that makes you lose your breath, or has you kind of coughing and choking, so you're taking deeper breaths. So that's back to that breathing again, taking those deep breaths and having that good belly laugh, which burns calories, by the way. So if you're looking for an easy way to burn calories, laughing burns calories.
Word up.
But just being able to let your guard down. Like for me, I wear so many hats, and I have so many roles, in my life. But like at game night, I got to just be Lady Bounce. I didn't have to be anybody's wife, nobody's mother, nobody's teacher, nobody's community activist. I really had a good time because I got to just be me.
Word up. Which that leads us into our self-care assignment for this week. Happiness experts have established that a strong support network is vital to having a higher life satisfaction level. Humans are made to love others. Our relationships with our spouses, families, and friends provide us with meaning and happiness. Having groups of friends to do things with on a regular basis is a certain path to happiness. So bust out your cards and invite some friends over. Have a game night. That is your self-care assignment for this week. Have a game.
I like that.
I'm
not very good at like mini card games, but I'll play.
No, and as a matter of fact, I'll be the first to admit, I guess I get my black card revoked because I don't play spades. I don't know how to play any card games besides Uno and I Declare War.
You can play 21.
I don't even know what that is.
You draw the cards and you make them add up to 21. And if you go over, you lost that hand.
Yeah, see, this is a thing I need to explain too when it comes to age. My mother was born in 1936 to a religious family, and they weren't allowed to play cards. That was the devil. It was the devil. They weren't allowed to. I think the only card game that they were allowed to play in that day was Ponico. How you say that? Ponico.
Knuckle?
Not Pinochle. Pokino.
Oh, Pokino.
Which is bingo with cards. You know,
Right.
you have a big sheet that has different cards, faces on it, and the dealer is flipping cards, and you line the card just like bingo, but with cards. Pokino, that's what it's called. See, I didn't even know the name. See, so I'm not a spades player. I don't play Tonk, Bridge, Remy, Jen Martin, any of 21. We used to play Slapjack. That's about it.
You could play Old Maid.
I didn't even play Old Maid.
You didn't play Old Maid?
We had an Old Maid card deck like in kindergarten, but I didn't like it. Goldfish. I remember that game in kindergarten, but you ain't seen no grown people play Goldfish. Like, hey, yo, come on, play this Goldfish, man. Go play some Goldfish this weekend.
Adults don't typically play Goldfish.
Let's play some Goldfish this weekend. But yo, let's jump into my favorite part of the show. Brain science. All
right, so today our brain science is all about the importance of adult play. In our hectic and modern lives, many of us focus so heavily on work and family commitments that we never seem to have time for pure fun. Somewhere between childhood and adulthood, we stopped playing. When we carve out some leisure time, we're more likely to zone out in front of the TV or the computer than engage in fun, rejuvenating play like we did as children. But play is not just essential for kids. It can be an important source of relaxation and stimulation for adults as well. You can play with your romantic partner, friends, co-workers, and even children. It doesn't always have to be a structured activity like cards or a board game. It could be simply goofing off with friends, sharing jokes with a co-worker, or throwing a frisbee on the beach, dressing up on Halloween with your kids, building a snowman in the yard, playing fetch with the dog, acting out charades, or going for a bike ride with no pure destination in mind. There doesn't need to be any point to the activity besides having fun and enjoying peace. Enjoying those brain breaks, which I talk about a lot. You got to give yourself brain breaks. So what are some of the benefits of play? The benefits of play. While play is crucial for a child's development, it is also beneficial for people of all ages. Play can add joy to your life, relieve stress, supercharge learning, and connect you to others in the world around you. Play can also make work more productive and more pleasurable. Play helps to relieve stress. It improves your brain function when you play games such as chess, word puzzles, or activities that challenge your brain. Play can also stimulate your mind and boost your creativity. Young children often learn best when they are playing, a principle that also applies to adults as well. You'll learn a new task better when it's fun and you're in a relaxed and playful mood. Play can improve your relationships and your connections to others. Sharing laughter can foster fun and empathy and compassion and trust and intimacy with others. It doesn't always have to be a specific activity. It can also be a state of mind. Developing a more playful nature can help you loosen up in the most stressful of situations. It can help break the ice with strangers, and you can make new friends and form new business relationships. Playing keeps you fun, young, and energetic. Yes. In the words of George Bernard Shaw, we don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. Play can boost your energy and vitality and even improve your resistance to disease, helping you function at your best. So, real quick, we already talked about having a game night. So creating opportunities for play. Host a game night. Arrange a night out with your colleagues. Schedule some time in the park. Play with a pet. Surround yourself with playful, happy people. Joke with strangers. Small talk. Visit a magic store. And my favorite, play with children. Goofing around with kids helps you experience the joy of play from their perspective. If you don't have young children, arrange a play date with your grandkids, nieces, nephews, or other young relatives. And for us, it is our beautiful goddaughter that we get to just watch her grow and play. She's 1.5, and she's so much fun. Just watching her discover things and playing with her, it is the ultimate mood booster anytime.
Definitely.
There's your brain science.
Definitely. Word up. So there you have it, people. Take time to enjoy time.
Yes. Instead of saying don't play with me, play with me.
Yeah, definitely. That's our show for this week. Remember, if you have any comments, concerns, or just want to say hi, you can shoot us an email at flywithusla
at
at gmail.com, or you can hit us up on any social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and now on TikTok. To see our podcast or hear our podcast, you can find it, watch it, listen to it anywhere else you find podcasts: SoundCloud, YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're everywhere, baby. Come fly with us.
Come fly with us.
It's your boy Picket Fence.
I'm Lady Bounce.
We out of here. Peace.
Peace.